Well, you just saw it live. Chiefs escape despite their play and beat the Raiders in Arrowhead by 2 on a crazy, crazy end of the game. Nothing surprises me in the AFC West. A lot to take away from this game. Some significant changes coming. Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom. Hope you guys are having a little bit of a letdown. Take a deep breath. It's going to be all right tonight. We'll talk about the future when we talk about the future. He's Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. This is RGR Football. We're going to tell you like it is because holy crap, we got a lot to talk about. Daniel, I thought like the offense came out and started decently before the downhill slide. Got Pops back. Like, I was pretty happy to start. Were you?
Yeah, they moved the ball. It feels like they're using up all their magic in the regular season.
Oh.
I'll be very honest with you guys. Like, I know that we keep doing this. They can't keep getting, it's literally the meme. They can't keep getting away with this, and yet they are. It doesn't matter. There's no left tackle. They don't have anybody out there doing anything on offense, and yet they still win the football game. There's nothing. It's just magic. It's Taylor Swift. What's going on, Taylor? You're just up there with the black magic. Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. By the way, I'm going to crack this bad boy right now. This is a Santa's Black Blood. It's from Abomination. It is 13.3% because we need it right now.
We do. We do. I mean, there is a whole lot going on here, guys. There's a little bit of this that I have questions about. There's a little bit of this that I have questions about. There's a whole lot of stuff that we got a glimpse of, some of this, but we're going to get back to it because there is a lot more to go over. Make sure you like, sub, hit the bell. Welcome in. Check out our friends BetUS. You can get 150% of your deposit if you use the code YouTube150 right now at BetUS. Check them out. We know you guys have questions and comments. Every Super Chat gets an answer tonight. Our members are already handing out other memberships, and make sure you jump in and get in the fray. If you have a topic, we'll try to cover it. This is a post-game show live. We are going to give you our thoughts and notes. We'll try to answer most of the topics in here. For those of you that have a defibrillator standing by, don't use it. It's going to be okay now. But we will definitely get to our full Q&A on Monday night like we always do. So also, folks, I have a great piece coming out on NFL 33. Go check that out and get subbed over there because for my mom's favorite team, Bears are in total meltdown. I'm going to tell you what they have to do going forward. And Ryan Poles, when I see you in Mobile, let's talk. There's a lot to go over. Right now, this feels like I don't even know the best way to put it. It's that scene in The Matrix with the gun to her head. And she's just like, dodge this. I don't care. I don't care what you do. I'm going to find a way to win this ball game, whether you have to screw it up or I make you screw it up. I'm shocked, honestly, at the way that they just imploded. 2 3-and-outs in the second half on the offensive side of the ball. They just kind of felt they had it in the bag is the way I feel. What did you see?
Yeah, this was honestly, they've played for an entire month of losing football, of a whole month. They should be 0-4 in the last 4 games that they've played. I'll be very honest. You shouldn't lose. You shouldn't win the game against the Panthers because you didn't deserve to. You shouldn't have beat the Broncos because you got a blocked kick. You get a fumble here at the end of the game. Legitimately should be 0-4. But like I said, I told you guys last week, if the Chiefs find another way to win a close game, I'm just going to believe. I believe it doesn't matter anymore. There are no rules to this Chiefs team. They don't play by the rules. Andy Reid doesn't care. The offensive line is garbage. It doesn't matter. All of this stuff, it doesn't matter. Left tackle, yes, it's a problem. Hopefully Humphreys comes in and can do something, but you have to go to your third string left tackle, essentially. This is worse than we've ever seen it. And I'm going to say it again. I know none of you believe me. I don't care. I believe that Andy Reid ruined the plan by benching Kingsley Suamataia early. He ruined his confidence, and there you strung along Wanya Morris, who was never getting better. Overall, I think he had a point where he was, and then the injury happened again, and it's been nothing but downhill since. They don't have a left tackle. They don't have one. Hopefully, Humphreys can do something. But Patrick Mahomes, again, even him in this game, erratic. He missed wide open receivers all day long, and then he had drops and penalties. This team is dysfunctional on offense right now. And on defense, they don't care sometimes. They just don't care. They need a free safety. There's nobody back there that can help them. Brian Cook can't
No.
play free safety. He can't do it. So if you get beat deep, it's a big play. There's nothing there.
I will tell you this. I agree with you that Brian is overmatched playing single high. If they play splits, I'm comfortable. I think he can get there. It's especially that last play, and it's in my notes too. This is what I'll tell you, folks. And if you're just getting here, welcome in. Nikki needs a hug. Somebody give her one.
Yes,
I
we all need a
appreciate
hug.
you, Nikki.
All of us.
We're going to get to your super chats, but I want to give you my observations because there was a thread going through this. And you know what? I just saw this, and this guy is banned for life. Piss off. Goodbye.
I didn't see it, so.
Mago, whatever the hell his name is, see ya. Don't come back. I will say this. They were smart. The Raiders did their homework.
Oh, yeah.
They knew how to attack Najee. They knew how to disrupt the corner safety relationship. They used short motions to beat the Chiefs with their own coverage rules. And you guys have heard me talk about it before. There's coverage skill, there's coverage scheme, and there's coverage rules. When you learn those rules, you can manipulate them just like the Chiefs did with the hot dog plays against the Eagles and knowing what they would do before they did it. That's how the Chiefs got beat with Najee today. And then later in the game as well, making that shift in that play where you rotated Reed down to go single and you had Cook where he was already at a disadvantage to cover the far side of the field. It's just tough. And unfortunately, that's something the Chiefs have to guard against. When you're this predictable, that's what's going to happen. There's no way around that, and they have to get this fixed. I really want your opinion before I get to mine of what you think of Joshua Williams coming in for Najee.
So I think that he was fine in the run game. They didn't really test him in terms of throwing at him. I'm a little surprised they didn't really do that. They were really comfortable throwing it at whoever was guarding Brock Bowers because it didn't matter. Apparently the Chiefs felt it was comfortable to give him cushion with a linebacker and support. Made no sense to me because the one thing he's really, really good at is creating separation and getting yards after the catch. So let's give him 10 yards of separation and let him get up to speed. Made no sense to me at all. But I think that Joshua Williams is best used as a part-time player. So if he's going to be out there in part-time, fine. But it's been past time to get Keith Taylor out there to see what you have. Because we know what Josh Williams is as a full-time starter. It hasn't been good to this point. So you go from him to Najee Johnson. The corner is the same situation as your left tackle. You are in find-out mode. It is time to figure something out. But the Chiefs are going to have to wait for their left tackle. They have players on the defensive side that maybe throw in there. CRW, Keith Taylor, somebody get something going. Josh Williams, again, he didn't really get exposed in this game. He did a good job passing off and then almost intercepting that pass. That's what, Najee Johnson did that last week where he passed off. These guys, they know how to pass off their assignments. They're sound in the defense. The problem is their physical limitations are what gets attacked every week. And for whatever reason, that one moment where Najee Johnson got beat deep, it's like he just forgot there was nobody behind him. Like he forgot. But again, like you said, by the Raiders shifting out that last second, it takes them, confuses them. They knew exactly how to attack this team. It's just like the Panthers last week. They had a great game plan and they attacked the game plan, and it worked all game long. It worked all game long. So there's no real adjustment process there. And again, for the Spags side, I'm willing to give him credit. I'm willing to just kind of wait and see because he has not wanted to show anything different. But at the same time, this is a problem. It's an actual problem. But again, 11-1 now, they make it seem like it's not a problem.
Exactly. That's the thing. I'll say this too. This was a glimpse of the future because the one thing that I do think, Myers made some nice plays. He's a solid receiver. That's more about scheme and not understanding how they're going to attack you or not being prepared for it. I do believe that Brock Bowers is a rare talent and he will be a thorn in the side for this team for the next decade. You have to find someone. Exactly. You have to find someone that can take him away, whether it's top and bottom or a single player. You have to do it. I'm disappointed that they didn't rough him up more off the line, especially when you're engaged with him. You have to understand, yes, he's a decent blocker, but he's not there to block. If he engages you as a blocker, beat the hell out of him because he's going to delay release on you. You have to be prepared for that.
The fun thing, the one time they actually on third down jammed him, it was an incomplete pass. Oh, wow. Weird how that works out. And by the way, Charles Menahue had a very big impact on this football game. Charles Menahue came back and he was unleashed in this football game. He has been tweeting, he has been chomping at the bit to get on the damn field, and he got on the damn field, and he was very good in this football game. The 4-man rush got better with him just on the field, and not just because he was getting pressure, because he was alleviating some pressure for other players. He was creating some problems without actually doing anything. So really had great job for Charles Omenihu coming into this football game and acting like he's been missing football for the last, 10 months.
I love how you jumped to that, because my number one note, Omenihu's presence was felt big time, as was Pacheco on offense. The lift that they brought, that's what was in there. And I completely agree with you. He was inside, he was outside, he was making a lot of things better. It is no coincidence in my mind, Daniel. You tell me if I'm crazy. It is no coincidence to me that Chris Jones got 2 sacks on a day when Charles Omenihu returned.
You want to know why? Because they trusted him to go inside. And Chris Jones said, I'm going to go outside. And honestly, DeMar Glaze is not it. It's not it. He's an awful tackle. He's been awful. And he was a draft pick that they for some reason, panic drafted. But you're out there, you got to play. And Chris Jones said, hey, Charles, why don't you kick inside, my guy? I'm going to go take advantage of this right now. And he did. And it was not until the second half that it felt like they adjusted. He played more inside. He got double teamed a little bit, but Charles was causing more problems. It felt like overall the 4-man rush got a lift, got a jolt of energy, which is something they haven't had all season long.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Kudos to you, Minotaur, for giving away the free memberships. Folks, you can play with the emojis and the icons and get the symbol today because of the free membership that Minotaur just gave out. If you get one of those, super easy to upgrade. You'll get my game notes that I just showed you, the big takeaways, but you'll get drive-by-drive notes from me, usually by midweek. That's for the members only, so you can click join and you can upgrade to rookie or above and get that, as well as Dan's rants, which Dan, I had a problem with the upload. So Dan's got a rant coming for you. I just didn't get it out on time.
It all works for the same nonsense, so you guys don't even worry about it. I did record it. I did not forget about you. I recorded it on Wednesday, but as you guys know, short week, holiday stuff makes it a problem, but it's all the same. It doesn't matter because this rant still qualifies for this win as well.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to take a couple questions, and then we'll get back to a couple more of the big takeaways from me. Nick, thank you, buddy. You were first in the Super Chats tonight. Easily the worst game of the year. Juan needs to start looking for houses in Canada because that's where he's heading. I feel like I could run our defense, and Jalen Watson, miss you dearly. I'm 100% with you on Jalen, and we are going to talk left tackle coming up a bit later. I'm really concerned, honestly, that all of a sudden the defense looks fallible in more ways than one. The Bowers matchup is unique. I'm not going to give Trent McDuffie a whole lot of crap for that, but Myers isn't special. I'm sorry. Tucker, I don't know how you fall down covering Tucker because he's a straight line athlete. It shouldn't be a problem, but there are a couple of miscues here. That
was Reed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he had a play at the end of the game. Good for him. A large part. And that's the thing right now. Teams know how to isolate safeties on receivers. They know how to do it. And it's easy because they find out that they move guys around. Once you show blitz, they say, fine, we'll change it up and we'll go ahead and tack you down the field. It's easy for them right now. The last 2 games, bad offenses. And I give credit to the Panthers last week. They executed a great game plan and Bryce Young made some fantastic throws in that game. Multiple times in this game, you should not have had Aiden O'Connell throwing deep down the field, but you did. And guess what? Nobody was there. And I'm here to say it again. Shamari Connor, once again, got beat late in game because he's just not that special of an athlete. Brock Bowers is a tight end. Yes, okay, in part. He's basically a big slot. He's like wide receiver. So again, you have Shamari Connor on what is in essence a wide receiver, and he gets beat on a deep over route, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the wheels.
Just saying. No,
you're absolutely.
There's a problem.
I'm pouring myself some beverage here. It is not as nice a beer as Dan has. I'm just drinking water because
this is like this. I bought this because of the can art. If you guys can see, like this is creepy ass Santa, and he's tapping the glass outside. Like I saw this, and I'm like, I have to buy this. Here's the description for you. It's a double pastry stout brewed with vanilla beans, milk, sugar, and eggnog spices. This thing is a beast.
It's a lactose bomb. Nick, thank you for your support. And Thunderes, I think you're going to have to go get that beer that Dan just bought because that's right up your alley. Nice to see you, buddy. It hurts me so much seeing my Georgia boy go all over in silver and black. This game is ridiculous, but a W is a W, even if it's ugly. You're absolutely right. Like the stream, people. If you guys would hit the like, that would be nice. It always helps us out. Darius, great to see you, and thanks for the support, brother. We'll be talking soon. All of this is on Andy. Marcelino, you have some point here. So get so pass happy, it's ridiculous. Run the damn ball and help your own line. I agree with you. It hit me when it was 49 pass attempts, 49 dropbacks, getting sacked 5 times, knowing your left tackle is completely underwater. And yes, you weren't getting a lot of yardage, but I know you want to take it easy and mix it up. I thought Pop's return was incredible for him, but you had to try some different types of runs. If they're crashing the outside that much, toss them. Toss sweep outside and get to the edge where they're already coming down at you. There were other options that they didn't go to that would have taken some of the pressure off Mahomes and certainly off the left tackle as well.
Not one outside zone, like one outside run in this football game. Not one. Not one end around. Not one jet sweep handoff. Not anything. No quick screens to the wide receivers to the outside. Nothing. They just said, Patrick, you're going to drop back against a great pass rush, which even without their starters has been. And Caleb Chason has not had a good career. Guess what? He toasted Wanya Morris. You guys want to know the big problem? I'm going to tell you right now. Watching Wanya Morris play tackle, you want to know where his hands are? They're down here. They're all the way down to his hips. You think it's easy for a pass rusher to see where his hands are coming? If they're coming from all the way down here, it's so easy. He just slaps them down. You have to play with your hands up. When we're talking like offensive line scouting, hand carriage is one of the most important things in pass protection. How do you carry your hands? Wanya Morris he plays with his hands. You can't see them. So it takes so long to get them up. If your hands are here, guess what? You can quick strike. You can get, but he can't do that. So That's the big problem why Caleb Chason was so productive against him, because he got a running start. And while his hands are all the way down to his hips, he's like, fine, go ahead. Hit me with one of those hands. And I'm going to slap it right down. It's so easy to see coming. So Patrick on multiple third downs had to drop back into just pressure, into straight pressure, and no help. There was nothing there for him. And then multiple times he's having to make do with penalties. It's week 13, right? Week 12, week 13. And Juwan Taylor is still lining up in the backfield. Guys, This is not a coaching problem anymore. It is a player personnel problem. They have bad tackles. Juwan Taylor played a good first half of the season. He has been awful since, and he needs to be cut loose at the end of the year. You need to solve that problem. He's not getting better. He's getting worse. Your tackle situation's awful right now, and the development for your young left tackle, Humphreys, is probably going to help, hopefully. But again, if he doesn't, if his confidence is shot the rest of his career, that's kind of on you. So they've kind of screwed themselves a tackle in this right now.
They certainly have. Making back-to-back investments in draft choices for this position, and now having gotten to the point where you can't progress either of them. Now, this is Chason's actual pass rush paths today. This is the problem. You made a player that is not even mediocre at best across this league look like he's all pro. I called it wrong. I thought it was going to be Tyree Wilson that reaped the benefits of all the attention on Max. No, it was Chason. So I called it wrong, but somebody had to pick up the slack. And against these tackles, for both reasons, this is what happened. You can see this is not outrageous rush pass. This is not interior spin moves. This is not super cross chops. This is just rushing around the edge of guys. Super simple and straightforward. Using your hands better than the tackles use their hands. That's what it is, and that's all it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You just kind of delayed there for a second. So let's talk a little bit about some of the positives.
So can they get that fixed? Yes.
Some real. Are you good? You live? You there?
Am I good now? You tell me.
I think so. I think you're better right now.
Okay.
So yeah, the problem that the Chiefs are having right now. I mean, let's talk about some of the positives, right? I think DeAndre Hopkins today was excellent, right? he was awesome. Multiple, not just deep passes, but the pass interference that he caused on his own. Like, he was the focal point. In the second half, he was the go-to receiver. I wrote it down in my notes that he is the guy that is the go-to receiver right now. Travis Kelce had multiple the drops. I know he had the drop too, but like, there's not much you can do about drops, right, for Patrick. So I think that the passing offense, even though it was there was too much volume in the pass offense, like, I felt like there was enough there to get the job done, but they just didn't actually execute it.
That's fair. I have a couple of problem pieces that we'll get to. Let's take a couple more questions here. Knicks fan, nice to see you. They really need to fix that left tackle and right tackle. And we're glad that you said both. Sorry, I didn't get your question up here before we actually addressed it. But cheers to you and for your support, buddy. We're just going to go through a lot of folks thinking like this is the end for Morris. I won't say that. I will say exactly what I've said in the past. I think he can still be viable at right, and I think he can certainly be a guard. But this lack of progression and, honestly, as Dan said, regression is not what you can do going forward. So the plan for next season, and I agree with you, I think they made a mistake in benching Sua early. You got to find a way to pick that boy up. And I do believe that I've always believed he's more athletic. He's got more upside. You have to get in his head, pick him up, and maybe DJ Humphries can do that. I don't know if you can throw Humphries in there straight away, to be honest. I don't know what kind of footwork he's in. Andy said he looked like he was in decent shape. That doesn't mean jack. We have to find out. We'll see what they do with a little bit of time and a couple extra days to learn the playbook. I will not be surprised to see either. And the fact, you tell me what you think. I put this in my notes as a little side note, folks. And when you read it, if you're one of the members that loves the notes, it's in there. I just probably spelled terribly, but it is what it is. When they went jumbo and brought in a sixth offensive lineman to report, it was Sua. And that indicates to me that they're trying to get him a couple of looks, as you said, on some place where he doesn't have to be the left tackle in order to try to get him back out there.
I think they have to at this point. I don't think you can go into next game with Mike Caliendo as your left guard and Joe Thuney as your left tackle. It's a spot situation. Next week would not shock me if it was Kingsley Suamataia at left tackle. Again, it would not shock me in the slightest. But right now, you have to do with what you got. So you have to game plan. You have to prepare somebody all week long. If it's going to be Joe Thuney, it's going to be Joe Thuney. But I think you make both spots worse by doing that because Joe's just not able. You're going to have the same problem. No offense to Joe, who's been fantastic throughout his career. You're going to have the same problem with speed off the edge. You just are. He's a guard.
Yeah.
And even worse, he's a guard coming off of an injury.
With shorter arms. He's at a disadvantage all the way around.
I think he had 1 or 2 games in his career where he played really well at left tackle, and people are like, "That's it." It's not.
It's not.
And I don't want to give people all this false hope that he's going to come in for a game or two and be able to hold the phone until Humphries gets there. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it has to be Sua. You have to give him one more time to say you got something here, to give him the confidence as well until Humphries is ready to play. So I don't know, but we're going to find out on Sunday next week who is the tackle.
We certainly are. And that's not to say, that's just to say for this season, for the three-peat run, which everything is based on. This all conversation on this channel is based around getting to the historic three-peat. That's what they have to do. Next year's a whole different thing. I think you will be able to rebuild Sua's confidence in the offseason. You'll be able to teach him more technique so it doesn't break down as easily in the offseason. Going through the program, quite frankly, getting a little bit stronger will help him in the offseason. But to get to this Super Bowl is what we're talking about. Now, for those of you, we're going to get to the defense here in a second. I want to stay on the offense just for a minute. But, Callie, glad you got to see one. Hey, there's one out there. Nice to see you, buddy, and thanks for the support. I'm glad that it worked out that way. I'm tired of these tight games, but, hey.
That's your fault. For you. It's on you.
I wasn't going to go there, but okay. Brendan, I'm going to try to put this as succinctly as possible. I appreciate you supporting the channel, and thank you. But Matt Nagy is not the reason they're not taking deep shots. Brendan put, since Matt Nagy took over from EB, the offense has not been as good. Why do they never even take deep shots? They can't take deep shots because Patrick is getting killed on 5-step drops. He doesn't have the time. Bad things happen the longer Patrick holds the ball in this offense right now. Point blank. And of story, nothing else to it. Until they fix the tackles, he cannot take deep shots because he is going to get demolished. But in the same time, that doesn't have anything to do with EB versus Nagy. That has to do with the players on the field actually being able to play like professionals. And so far, I don't see that from Morris. Obviously had problems with Sua. We'll see about DJ. But until this is fixed, and don't even get me started about the experienced right tackle who continues to get calls for not putting his goddamn feet in the right place. I'm over it. That's the reason they don't get to take deep shots and have nice things and play with pretty shiny stuff.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Sorry
Honestly,
about
the times that they, it's fine. It's deserved at this point. And I'll be honest, I'm going to put the misses to Xavier on Mahomes. I know you could argue he could have laid out on that last one. I think Xavier maybe knows that his body type, if he lays out for it, he might not come up with that ball. He's trying to get under it. Yeah, like I understand it. I think we made the same excuses for McCole Hardman not laying out for a couple of them. Some of these things can go either way. I understand. Okay, Xavier maybe can dive out for that third one. The one that he completely just overthrew him that should have been a first down, that's on Patrick. Like a lot of these throws sometimes are on Patrick right now. So you're having some of the up and down with he can't throw the ball deep. And then when they do, they did a good job in this game attacking deep, in my opinion. They did when they could.
Shots. Yeah.
They took those shots. They got a couple of them. They had a couple to, DeAndre Hopkins down one each on the left side of the field or the right side. They completed those. They got pass interference on one. They did a good job, in my opinion, better than normal. The problem was, again, the protection. Patrick Mahomes was under pressure. Once again, the conversion rate from pressures to sacks this year has been unreal. It's been unreal. The biggest reason is because it's early pressure, and it's while Mahomes is trying to get the play set up. It's not late in the pressure. So when you see those pressures coming in, it's right away when he's trying to get the play set up. That's the big problem right now. It's not maybe 2.5 seconds into the play where he's already gone through his progressions and he's like, fine, I'll make something happen. It's while he's trying to get through the progressions and set the play up. So you have problems with throwing the ball deep when guys are open, and then you have the pressure. And then you have problems with Mahomes, who maybe is sped up a little bit because of the pressure already, and he misses guys that are wide open. Right now, there is a ton of issues with the conjectivity of this offense and the connectivity of how it's all being played. And today, I'll put it on the play calling. Not running the ball enough in this entire football game. It was a bad design all the way around.
What did they run? 7 and 7. 7 designed runs for each guy. In a game when you want to get pops back in, you have 2 guys you want to feed a little bit. You didn't run it 14 times, less than Kareem got by himself last week.
Yeah.
That I completely agree with you is on the staff. And I do want to say, Brendan, thank you for your comment and your question. And I appreciate you putting it out there, even if I don't agree with some of it. But thank you, and keep those coming, because we need to have good conversation around here if we're going to get better, just like the team needs to get better. Teddy, can't be happy when we keep winning on the back of weird plays. Black magic is going to wear off at some point. And that's the thing. If you keep burning your 9 lives right now, what are you going to have left at the end of the season? And maybe that's a little mystical, but
the argument here in my case would be, let's waste all the black magic until we can get ready to go, right? Use all of it until you actually start clicking, and maybe they are, but at the end of the day, you want to be firing on all cylinders heading into December and into January. And right now, much like the Raiders game last year where they lost that football game, they haven't been. Maybe takes 2 games in a row of winning football games when you probably shouldn't, or an entire month when you probably shouldn't, to get them out of their heads, out of their you-know-whats. I doubt it, but this hopefully is a reflectionary game, because this one, unlike maybe the Carolina Panthers game where they tied it, you outright should have lost.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Would they have been better off had they lost? They needed a kick in the face last year.
I agree. Raiders. I don't know. I can't answer that question because they didn't lose the game. But at the end of the day, I think I resigned to the fact they were going to lose. I did. I think we all did. They were driving. They had plays. It was like
I was changing the graphics until that play.
Yeah, it's tough. But we have been very negative. Okay, there's a lot to be negative about. Okay, that there is. We're going to get to a lot of you guys' super chats here in a second. But I would like to say, outside of the two guys that came back and I think played very well in this football game, there were some real bright spots for Drew Tranquil, who played very poorly in most of the season, in my opinion. Got times where he was matched up against Brock Bowers, where he was very good. He was in coverage and he played better, I think, in this game, not just against the run, but in coverage where they desperately needed him to. And that was something that you saw a couple times where either the pass breakup, he's right in the hip pocket a couple of times, making tackles. He did a good job there. So, and George Karlaftis, a sack, that pass deflection at the end of the game, he played better too. Those are two guys that I really want to shout out because they, again, for the large portion of this football season, haven't been great. I think they elevated their play today.
Nikki, thank you for pointing that out. I banned the ref guy who wants to act like everything.
Oh, yeah.
So he's gone. I also want to say that if you take all of our comments as negativity, it's only because we know what this team is capable of.
That's fair.
And we are focused on seeing them get to the fruition of this three-peat that, honestly, as bad as they've played this season, is still within their grasp because even their C game is better than everybody else in this league except the Bills and maybe the Lions right now.
It is.
No, I'm saying like,
are...
what I'm saying is there's two teams playing better than them right now, despite playing as bad as they're playing.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right.
That tells you something. So that said, we're trying to make sure that we're communicating to you what we see as the needs. And to this, thank you, Teddy. We appreciate you. Let's hope that it doesn't wear off anytime soon. Cal asked, what's wrong with the defense? And nothing stands out more to me right now than this fact today. Chris Jones got 2 sacks today. Great. Got back off the board. It took Charles Omenihu's presence to get that done, in my opinion. George Karlaftis got one as well. The only other QB hit recorded was on a blitz by Justin Reed. They're the only 3 guys that contacted the enemy quarterback, and that is a problem. Pressure produces sacks. You don't have to have sacks to get done, but you got to hit the guy. You got to make him feel your presence at his defensive line. If you don't do that, then he stands around and thinks he can get everything done, and it takes an absolutely hysterical. I mean, this is as good as Andy Studebaker's recovery against the Chargers for someone giving the Chiefs a game. It's nuts. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out.
Oh, you're good.
Only Knife says, can we let Hicks cover tight ends? This BS from Chamari and 13. The tight ends is ugly. I'll tell you this, though. Brock Bowers would run away from Jaden Hicks, too. That's not a question. He is a better athlete.
You're not wrong. I think his recovery athleticism paired with his physicality would allow him a better shot because he could play a little more physical with him. He could get into the route and be able to recover a little bit easier. His change of direction is better than Chamari, but again, he's a rookie. This defense is hard to learn. He has a package right now where he comes in 3 safety sets, sometimes 4 safety sets. It's not working with Chamari Connor in coverage. It's just not. And that you guys, I showed you last week the predictability with this defense. I showed you in the film room how it was easy for the Panthers to take advantage of the run blitzes. I don't necessarily think that the Raiders did that this week, but the motions out, like Ryan pointed out earlier, it creates mismatches. And when you have sometimes 2, 3 safeties on the field, you can get a safety like Justin Reed or Chamari Connor on a mismatch. And it's easy to throw to. Aiden O'Connell didn't have to process in this game for the most part. When he did, he got sacked or he threw it away. When he went with his first read, it was because he knew exactly where the mismatch was. And that's the problem with this current iteration of the defense. And that's why I'm giving Spags a little bit of time because we know he's got change ups and he's got more leeway to change his before he needs to. So I'm going to be far more lenient with what they're going to do on the defensive side than I am right now with the offense because they continue to put offensive linemen in poor situations and give them no confidence. And then in third and long situations, they continue to find those reasons. And they've also been continuing to put the offense in bad problems with penalties and just not even being good. So that's part of my reasoning with that.
You're absolutely on track. I cannot argue with that at all. Folks, thank you for the super chats. We're going to run through them here. Hope that every one of you is having a good night. I know it's Black Friday. Hopefully you weren't out in public, but if you were, more power to you because I certainly wasn't. Matthew, can we start a wide receiver at left tackle next week? Can't make any protection any worse. That's a good one. And I did need the lift. Thank you, Matthew. Good to see you. Daryl, Yeah, tell me something good, please, for the love of God.
Okay.
And thank you, Daryl, for 4 years in the
Woo,
membership.
4 years, Daryl, man.
One of our oldest members. We appreciate you. I think you're a young man, but you've been here the longest. We appreciate you. Keep us going. So if you picked one top thing to make good, and then I'll pick mine because you already kind of mentioned it. What do you got?
DeAndre Hopkins is legitimately good. Like, he's for real. He's real. And he's going to be a playmaker when you need him to in the postseason, because the Chiefs did just clinch the postseason for the 11th straight year. Again, Let it sink in. I know this is hard with a win off of a fumble. Another new way the Chiefs found to win a game they probably shouldn't have. But it's 11 straight years in the postseason. And DeAndre Hopkins came to play for the Kansas City Chiefs and is arguably going to make the single biggest impact on an offense in the postseason than any of the wide receivers that were traded. I wanted Deontay Johnson. What's he doing for the Baltimore Ravens? Nothing. Amari Cooper's playing very well. I mean, he's been injured, so you can argue maybe he's not available for the postseason all the way through. I know he's going to be healthier now. DeAndre Hopkins has effectively gotten this offense out of situations that they find themselves in. So the good thing is that while they've gotten injured on the offense, you might get Hollywood Brown back. You're hopefully going to get DJ Humphries through, but DeAndre Hopkins right now is doing a lot for you that is it's putting less pressure on Xavier Worthy to be the guy, which he didn't have the ability to handle as a rookie, 21-year-old rookie in the NFL. I think he's found his style right now, and he's helping the offense in that way.
I agree with you. And that's got to happen, and it's got to continue to go in that direction. You named the same guy I will. The other big takeaway that I have is there was proof tonight that the contested catch jump ball is back on the table, folks, for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career. He has a guy he trusts to go get the damn ball. That is a whole new element when it comes to the red zone in the playoffs. So maybe you can get Hollywood back. Maybe Humphries can solidify left tackle. Maybe you have to run 6 offensive linemen. I don't care. You have targets now that if you can get Patrick the time where he doesn't rush his clock and he doesn't have to run for his life, he can put the ball in good places for these players. So there's something good as well, Daryl. And for those of you that are asking, and I get this on social media a lot, I just stopped answering it because I've answered it 1,000 times. No, they are not better off. They're not worse off because they didn't keep L'Jarius Sneed. I see that constantly about these corners in particular, and I'll show you why. These are the snaps that L'Jarius Sneed has played this year. Hasn't been on the field since week 6, and that's why he's not a Chief anymore, because you do no one any good when you're not on the field. And so, yes, I know it hurts to watch some of this defensive back play, but that's why L'Jarius is not here, and you guys know how much I like L'Jarius. So
let's have an honest conversation about L'Jarius Sneed. They knew about his injury going into the offseason, and also they knew how good of a fit he was for this defense. Before he got out from an injury, he was playing bad football. He was not a good corner for the Tennessee Titans. He wasn't good in their defense, but he was adjusting to it, right? You're going to have an adjustment period. But they knew about the injury. That's why they traded him, okay? And let's be honest about the corner conversation. If Justin Watson doesn't get hurt, who's talking? Who's talking?
Probably
Nobody.
No one.
Because I'll tell you right now, Justin Watson was playing elite cornerback 2 football before he got hurt. He was. There's zero argument about that. Injuries happen. Okay, they do. It sucks. Everyone has to look at the Detroit Lions right now. They fielded an entire defensive lineman of pure practice squatters, essentially, outside of Aleem McNeil against the on Thursday.
Those guys.
Against the Bears. Injuries happen. And they lost like 5 other guys in the game. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it. Najee Johnson, I've said it 1,000 times. The injury, the year post of a serious ACL injury reconstruction, it's never the tier where you judge a player. It's the year after. And Josh Williams had the chance to secure that cornerback 2 spot. He didn't. He failed. He did. He got benched. Najee Johnson today got benched. Josh Williams, I think, again, comes in, breath of fresh air, plays a little bit better. He has almost an interception, plays well in the run support. Both him and Nas Johnson play well in run support. They do.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
just it's tough to really get your feet dug in coming off of an injury. It just is.
And let's be literal. Where's Nazi been hurt? On the outside. Where was he excelling before the initial injury? In at the nickel. Look at where Aiden O'Connell was able to put the ball for big gains this week. Do you see it down the middle? No, you do not. You see it out to the edges, C2 gaps, whatever you got. That's where it's getting done. So the other thing that I would like to see, if Joshua is able to rally, or you're going to play Keith Taylor, or you're going to play one of the physical, long prototype players that they love, I want to see CRW. And if you're going to let Nazi come back in, maybe you're going to give him a week or two off. Let him see if he can come back. I want to see them in getting nickel snaps. That's what I want, because I think that's the best way to utilize them right now in a way they can help the team.
All right.
Smart.
We have tons of super chats we have to get to. We are 40 minutes in the show. We have like tons of them.
Okay, let's go. You're in charge.
Let's go. We'll start here with Nick. Appreciate the support. I don't know if you got this one or not.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we did.
Yeah, we're way down. We're way down the list. I'll go. This is where we're at now.
We'll find where
one
we
is
are. Okay.
One is a revolving door. Everyone is exploiting the hole left by Jalen Watson. Pat can't hit the deep ball. We can't win the playoffs like this. You're absolutely right, Kyle. But I will say this.
Oh, no.
Ran out of battery. Oh, no. Okay. We've covered most of this, but the other thing is, if you can even solidify one of them, if you can get the left tackle at least improved, if you can sort out that Joshua maybe can up his game now and take over for Jalen, one of those things can help dramatically. So let's hope that the return of Menahue and now Pops, I think both those things are positives and they can build on them. They have a chance to actually improve. Thank you for the support, brother. Nice to see you. Jay, nice to see you. Mahomes sacked 5-6 times again today. Over 11 or 12 pressures. Will Humphreys make a difference? That's the giant question. Is he in a position to make a difference? I can't tell you that. I hope so, but we don't know what kind of shape he's in yet. Experience alone will give him a little bit of an edge. It did for Donovan Smith, who obviously was playing through injury last year, the stingers and everything in the back, and obviously not as fleet of foot. DJ's a little bit younger, does have a significant amount of experience. So I do think if he's in shape, if he can play 70 snaps in a ball game, I think it's reasonable to expect that he can improve the play pretty quickly. Now, am I certain of that? Not yet, but we're going to find out. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate the support. You too, Girk. Nice to see you. Defensive special teams have Mahomes. Clutchness, gaining trust. I will say this, too. You bring up a good point, Girk, because special teams was terrible today. They did not play well. When Matt Araiza has to throw his body around like he's a guided missile in order to get a stop, you're doing something wrong. That was a problem.
Big problems. Got to get those lanes figured out. And then you guys I saw Jack Cochran miss multiple tackles.
Yeah.
Just be right there and then just having to dive at someone's legs. You know, Brian Cook did the same thing. He's in position, but he gives up too much to the outside. If you're going to break down, get squared. If you're not going to get squared, run through his face. Do it.
You can't be scared because he's quick. You got to play it and you got to let your guys rally. That's the way you got to do it. Donnie, thank you. And thank you, Girk. Nice to see you. Who cares? The Chiefs are in the playoffs. We're holding Pacheco back way too much. This was the main thing that ticked me off today. You know, Donnie, you have a good point. They're into the playoffs. They've clinched their spot. Now it's just trying to maintain the 1 seed so you get a chance to get some freaking rest, right?
Yeah, they have to be able to. And I think that they wanted to get Pacheco more involved, but you have to hold him back too. Yeah. He's got a plate and screws holding his fibia together. Okay. He's adds a lot of energy to the offense. He hit that 434-yard run. He had an explosive play. Both him and Kareem Hunt missed wide open gaps in the first half of this football game. And I'm giving it to Pacheco. He's coming back. Fine. Kareem Hunt, you can't miss that play, buddy. You can't.
And I think as they settle in, next week should be better. I do like the back and forth, as you said. Pops brings that highest gear that Kareem really doesn't have at this age, but he brings the power. And I think the battering ram back and forth, like the two of them. Carson Steele made a couple plays, couple on special teams, drew that one foul. You lined up as a fullback. I love the concept of having both Pops and Kareem be able to run behind a full backfield with Kelson there or Gray and have a lead blocker. Let's get back to the basics and let them do what they do best and just go hurt the defense. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Too quick. This stat is unreal, and Dan's going to tell you why. Chiefs are now 3-0 this season when they score 19 or fewer points. Opposing kickers have missed 7 field goals and 3 extra points. I didn't even know that.
That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It must be just an intimidation factor. You know, there is so much pressure on teams to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs that kickers in that moment are just like, honestly, I thought Carlson was going to nail that 50-plus yarder earlier in the football game, but you want to know what happens? He gets too much ankle on it, and it comes up short. And then later, he tries to drive it through, and that's just such a fine line between being able to get enough power on it and then just kind of nerfing it into the ground, and that's what he did. There's so much pressure on these kickers to be good against the Chiefs because every time it comes down to a field goal or not, guess who wins? The Chiefs. So there's a ton of pressure. So that's a crazy stat.
Yeah, that last one looked like me playing golf, the way he chipped it short so bad.
You and me both, my friend.
I doubt that, my friend. Thank you, Too Quick. We appreciate your support. Hooper, thank you. Appreciate you as well. Am I wrong in stack LT options as Tooney, Kingsley, Driscoll, Wanye till DJ is here? I would disagree with that only again because what we talked about, Tooney is an emergency tackle. I would not set him up if they game plan against him or you get your longest guy out there, like he is at a disadvantage. I still don't know enough about what I've seen from Driscoll to think that he's ahead of Wanye. Wanye is struggling. His confidence is wrecked now. But I will defend him in this way. That last one with the one-hand swipe where Jason just went straight around him, it's because in another critical third down, Andy gave him no help at all and left him on that island knowing he's getting his butt kicked all game. You cannot do that. You have to understand that the weakness you have on the field will disrupt your plan if you don't take care of it. That's on the staff.
Andy Reid stuck in 2019 where he thinks he has Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong with his decision making. You can't.
It's terrible. Hooper, thank you. Appreciate your support. And another one from you. Thank you, buddy. Shout out to Dan drinking Abomination Brewing Company. Kudos to Abomination.
This thing is dangerous. It's delicious.
We're going to get Dan off the stream before it kicks in.
I'm fine. I'm 260 pounds. This takes a little while to get into me, so we're good. And even then, I need like at least 2 of them.
Too Quick, thank you again for the support, buddy.
Thank you, Too Quick.
Daryl, thank you, as always. Drinking moonshine. It's about that time, isn't it? The Chargers are going to have fun with us. You know, I would say that too, but they still charger themselves. At the end of the day, I don't know. I don't trust their defense. Kudos to Justin Herbert for bouncing back in yet another offense. But I think, let me ask you this, just as a side note, and we'll get to all the super chats. Is Ladd McConkey everything that you thought he would be?
Absolutely. He is the guy that I knew he was going to be. Like, you watch him at Georgia, and you're like, yeah, this guy just creates separation. He's faster than people give him credit for, and he knows exactly where to be. Like, he is the successor to Keenan Allen. That's what he is. He has been exactly that.
And he is the puzzle piece that at Georgia fit right in with Brock Bowers. And he's going to do the same thing in the Chiefs if you don't take him seriously.
Man,
they cannot look past him.
I will say, if Justin Herbert plays like he's pretty much played all season, the Chiefs will be in trouble. They will, because if the Chiefs play like they have all season, that's not a game you want to be in. And they had Justin Watson in that game. Oh, looks like Ryan might be stalled out. Maybe. There he is.
I'll let you take Tom's in case I cut again.
Appreciate you, Tom. What an embarrassment. 11-1 just doesn't mean the same as it used to mean. Seem like the secondary just falls asleep out there. Nick, George, and Chris seem to be the only ones doing their jobs. You know, I think this feels similarly to a Chiefs team that was a 9-0 in the 2013 season, if I'm not mistaken, when they went on to lose pretty much all of the remaining games except for one. It feels that way, except they're winning these games and when they did not. And because you have Patrick at quarterback and you have Steve Spagnuolo as your defensive coordinator, you can find things around. I will say you're not wrong in the sense that lately, when it's been the defense on the field, it doesn't feel like they're going to close it out. Early in the season, remember that Falcons game? All right, defense is going to shut them out. It does not feel like that right now. It feels like if they go out there, defenses can just dice them up. And so I'll give you credit there.
Yeah. Tom, thank you for your support. Appreciate seeing you. Thank you, buddy. We're going to get into this. Rado, dumbest win I've ever seen to get them. Definitely didn't deserve it. Did Mahomes look upset about the win to you guys, or was it just me? I didn't notice at the end of the game because I was cutting to this. He was clearly pissed off multiple times about the protection. And honestly, that comes back to not helping out a guy who's struggling. You have to be adaptive a little bit more. If you're going to start guys that have less, what does Wanya have now? Less than 10 games starting, right? Like a little over half a season. You still got to help them out. And I truly believe that. Thank you, Rado. Appreciate the support. Will, thank you. As always, Chiefs can't beat the Chargers if Humphreys isn't ready. Can't is a strong word because clearly they shouldn't have won a couple of these, but they did. So I get where you're coming from, though, buddy, and appreciate you. Tactics. Perhaps they would have learned a lesson by losing. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like,
yeah,
a kick to the teeth, right? I didn't say I was
feel like,
moonshine.
Oh, yeah. It does feel like maybe a loss, because if you lose to the Bills, you're like, yeah, the Bills are a pretty good team. We probably should have lost to them if we play like that. But if you lose to the Raiders, the 2-9 Raiders, who their head coach called them the worst team in football the week leading up to your game, you lose to them, yeah, maybe you should change some things. But you win a game you should probably lose, and maybe you're just like, I don't know. Meh.
I mean, as long as they maintain their lead, we're going to have to see just how serious they get. It is now about to be December, and that's usually where things start to turn around. Hopefully, they don't need to get that L to get their butts in gear. Play Sue at left tackle and Morris at right tackle. It can't be any worse. I got to tell you, I'm not sure Wanya's ready to go back in that ball game.
There's a lot of guys right now. I don't know if Sua is, but he's got to get prepared, in my opinion, like he is ready. And Morris, again, he was interviewed after the game saying, sometimes you got to get hit in the mouth and change what you're doing. And he said he's going to make a change. What's that change? If it's not carrying your hands a little bit higher, closer to your chest, it's not worth it.
Right? It's basic fundamental football. That's the problem. Thank you, Knicks fan. Thank you, Vel. Nice to see you. Is it not? It is not often that you see Mahomes frustrated on the field. Good point. Very good point. He never scolds his teammates on camera, but he did that today. Next drive, Morris had his helmet in his hand. I feel sorry for Pat. And honestly, there was a lot of talk this week about how Patrick's not playing like Patrick. Well, if it's not the wide receivers, now it's the offensive line, something they promised themselves after they lost Mitch and Fish in a Super Bowl that cost them that game, that they would never get in this situation again. And yet, here they are. And I'm the thing that I'm most pissed off about, the thing that is most incredulous to me, is that your veteran that you're paying $20 million a year can't line up correctly. Still.
This offseason, it has to be cut and dry. He's 27 years old. This is not changing. It's not changing. So you need to be the ones to make a change. You have to say, we made an investment. He didn't get better. He's doing the same shit he was doing early and in his time at, with the Jaguars. It's not working out. You need to go make a change. Again, like Ryan just said, you made it a point after that loss in the Super Bowl to say, we can't let this happen again. It's happening right now, and partly on your own doing. Can you guys hear Ryan? I don't know. Oh, I see a little change. There we go. Maybe. Oh, maybe. All right. Girk, love the Riza's hits. Karloftis, D-Hop catch, Gray being clutch, and Charles plays. And just like the tackles, tackling, and safeties. And man, love the channel. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it does feel like Ryan is frozen at the moment. So maybe he'll catch the hint and I'll take over for the super chats as we get you guys through. And I'm not wrong. You're not wrong, Girk. I love seeing a Riza fly around out there, and definitely feel like Karloftis and George and Omenihu really picked up their level of play in this game. Agree with you. And just like the tackles, yeah, they absolutely were, man. Thank you for the support and the love as always, you guys. That's right, Adam. Playoffs clenched. Put it in stone as it has been for 11 seasons. That's always a fun thing to say. Kyle Peterson, appreciate the support. Thank you for the 5. On a positive note, Pops is back. Absolutely, man. It's nice to see him out there. One thing is unmistakable. When he's out there and he's running with his head down like this, everyone lights up. He is ready to kick it into high gear. Love that. Love the support. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Val Byers, appreciate you and support the 499 here. And another thing, how do you get immediate pressure on a max play action shot? This is nuts, borderline effort issue over physical limitations. I don't disagree with that. But I will say, when you are playing max protect on the left side, is not getting any tackle or any tight end or running back support, and they blitz the left side, that's how you get problems. And the Chiefs did not help out their left side almost at all in this football game that I can remember. Rewatch will tell a different story, but Andy Reid is very much about tackles. You got islands, and we want to get everyone to a route. That's what they want. So it's a double-edged sword, right? You have on one hand, let's help out our tackles. On the other hand, we have two receivers in the route. I don't know.
I'm telling you, throw it up in the corner now. It's fine.
Just get DeAndre Hopkins out on the route and throw the ball. Who cares?
Yeah. Just practice that back of the end zone thing for a few days. You're there. That one-hander that he just barely fell out of bounds with, I mean, just a slight angular change, and that's a touchdown. Not a problem. Vel, thank you for the Chiefs. And guys, sorry about the dropouts here. I'm having a little bit of trouble tonight. So, and we are getting close to starting Locked On Chiefs. I'm going to dip to that here in just a second. So cheers to you, Vel. Thank you for the support. Dontre, I'm coming live from Arizona. Well done. Nice to see you.
What's
but
up,
I put
Dontre?
this on 55 and Wabash, Gates Barbecue, Go Chicken Go, Derek Thomas, and Brian Busby, that we stink left tackle in CP. Okay.
You want to know something interesting? I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if I'm right. I didn't see Josh Uche play a snap in this football game.
It's a very good point. I think I agree with you.
The Kansas City Chiefs, don't forget, traded for Josh Uche. They traded for him. And
traded for my guy Cam, and he's not back on the practice squad yet.
Big difference being someone who's been a proven pass rusher and someone who hasn't played real good NFL player down in his entire career. The difference being that when Charles Omenihu comes back, you're telling me that now the guy you traded for isn't good enough to see the field. If that's the case, why'd you trade for him?
Right.
At all?
Yeah. There's going to have to be some adjustments. It felt like, if we are correct, that they just swapped him in for Uche's snaps. Charles played a lot, though. I'm really interested to see the
he played far more than Uche did. He played far more.
Yeah. So let's see what it balances out, and we'll see how they address that. I'm sure that's going to be a question Andy gets asked as well. Dontre, thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. Early buy is killing us right now, in my opinion. It's a grind now. You're absolutely right, Andrew, and that's why this first-round buy is absolutely critical for everything. All right, let's rip through these because we are on Locked On Chiefs in just a couple of minutes, and I don't want you guys to rush or miss that. Why didn't they run the ball more? And that's the big question. Like, it was just a complete drop-off. And my guess is that Andy's going to say, and I know the pressers are going on. Obviously, I'm not listening to them. I'm betting Andy's going to say, "Oh, it just got away from
me." There's no excuse. There's no, the only thing here is that they wanted to beat the Raiders so bad to put it in Patrick Mahomes' hands. Well, guess what? You played 4 quarters, and not one time was it really working. Not really one time was it just being the most impactful thing out there. So do more runs. And honestly, I don't even care about the third down throw. They had Xavier Worthy wide open, and Patrick missed him twice now, where I understand that Patrick wants to throw it towards the end zone. There is nobody out in the field. Throw it to the damn receiver. Let him throw it, run it into the end zone. The same with the miss on second down earlier in the game. Throw it to the open man where his trajectory is taking him, not where you want the ball to go. There's nobody else on the field. Throw it to him. I'm tired of this. I'm legitimately tired of it.
And especially when it's 3rd and 2. And yes, you got an opportunity to hit him deep, but that's not the play that's working right now when you've had guys in your lap all game. Don't take that. Get the damn first down. And Zach also asked, what was the play on 4th and 3 to end the game? I got nothing. I'm trying to look back at I'm trying to look back at the play sheet, and I don't recall.
Is that the one they were on 4th down?
Is that the one they were going to run, but then they kicked it?
Maybe that was the punt. I don't know.
Okay. There was a 4th and 2, but Araiza ended up punting it. So I
Yeah.
don't know what that play call was going to be. I think that's what you mean, Zach. My guess was they were going to do something silly and play action pass it again rather than just put their heads down and beat the hell out of the Raiders and run for it. But
I really just real quick. I understand. I understand it. They had it. Did you guys ask why they didn't run the ball on 3rd down against the Ravens in the postseason when they hit MVS down the field? Like, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. They had the play they wanted. Xavier Worthy's wide open legitimately for a touchdown. If he hits him in stride, he overthrows him. I understand. Don't get me wrong. But running the ball earlier in the game was the issue, not on that 3rd down.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Tom, can I be pissed off at a win? Am I just spoiled? We all are, brother. Why? we do have guys coming back. We are in the playoffs. We need to vastly improve, though. How about them Chiefs? Good job, Tom, and thanks for giving a little bit of positivity here as we end up. We started positive. We hit you with the truth in the middle. Don't worry, the Q&A is going to be real, too. And that's what it's about. You're limping through. You're getting to the postseason, especially now that you've clinched a spot. You just need that 1 seed, and you need to get there. You're going to get a little bit of rest, knock on wood, and then it's all systems go. You have to throw everything out there every game because this has been too close for comfort. And if they get there, then they're back to the team that we are expecting, and I think that's where we're all a little bit spoiled.
Yeah, it is, guys. Like it's still, they're even if they lose this game, they're 10-2. Like it would have been not like a huge, disgusting thing, and they deserved to lose, but they didn't. Like it just is.
Yeah. Jeremy, I think Dan just did that several times in calling
I've
Mahomes out.
been doing it. I've been doing it all season, honestly, with the deep ball. It's been awful.
Quick, thank you too. Quick, last thing. How do our Hawks do? Baylor always gives them fits. You're absolutely right. But Rock Chalk, if you can take on Colorado, you can beat Baylor. That's the truth of it. You just got to bring your A game. Now, they had a very specific game plan last week. I know you guys love to hear me talk about running the ball, but I would go back to that. Let's run the ball at Baylor and make sure that you can get that W. And then you're going bowling. So Rock Chalk, hope they do it well, and make sure that you guys watch that one as well.
As long as Devin Neal touches the ball, man, it don't matter.
Ding, 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 right? Last question, you guys. Make sure you like, sub, hit the bell. Thanks for being with us, and I'll be live on Locked On Chiefs here in a little bit. I'm going to Cleveland for the Browns game, and I'm terrified of what Myles Garrett might do to 15 if Humphreys isn't ready, and you have all the right in the world to be scared.
The problem I think you're going to see is even if he's healthy to go, there's, in my opinion, we talked about Najee Johnson coming off of an injury. What makes anybody believe that he's going to be what he was before the injury? I'm sorry. I am not counting on him being what he was. If he is, I will be pleasantly surprised. And I will say it on stream, as you guys know, that I will call out my own bad misses. That's just what it is. I don't expect him to be fully healthy and ready to go as he was prior to the injury the rest of the season. But as long as he is marginally better than the current options, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it needs to be an upgrade. That is it. Will, thank you, buddy, and have a good trip to Cleveland. Just be prepared for the worst, my friend. Caroline, thank you for all that you do and being with us yet again. If you guys would hit the thumbs up, that would help us immensely. Daniel, thank you for your time, and thank you guys for being here to listen to us vent. We'll be back with you Monday night for Q&A. Enjoy the rest of your football weekend, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thank you for everything you do for us. And Dan, I want to say thank you to you for all you do for me.
Of course, you as well, Ryan. Like this is a partnership. As much as it is anything, we do this together. And you guys, thank you so much for being here with us all live, as well as when whoever watches this after. You guys are great. And don't forget, for those you members, you're getting a rant. I recorded it on Wednesday, and a lot of it's going to take count for what's happening right now. So just remember, there is a rant coming for you.
I will work to get that up tomorrow. Okay. You guys have a great night. Thank you for being here. Have a good day tomorrow, and we'll talk to you Monday.